Hello everyone, and today we're going to be doing the final ranking of the Dark Souls 1 bosses from worst to best. Now, I can't quite remember if it was from number 13 or number 12, so I'm going to start from number... okay, I remember it's actually number 12, so let's start the ranking. Number 12 is Chaos Witch Quelaag. Now, the boss itself is pretty good, but like I wouldn't really say there's much to it. It's just some person on a type of some whatever she is. It's just a normal person on a spider-like thing, and she does spider things, and that's it. I will say that if you first play through, you will struggle with this fight quite a lot, and I think it's a perfect difficulty placement in the game. But like, I'm just doing a minute. Like I think, I feel like it's not that hard. It's not an easy boss, to be honest, but I just feel like it could represent a bit more of a challenge for early game. But I think for new players, it's pretty good. There's nothing really bad about the boss, but I would say it's a bit too easy as well, because if you just get behind her, she can't do anything except for an explosion attack, or she jumps away. So yeah, I just think it doesn't present the perfect challenge for new veterans. For new veterans, that doesn't make any sense at all. For veterans, it won't make much, yeah, it won't, you know. Whoops, challenge. Number 11 is Gaping Dragon. Now, you may be wondering, how is Gaping Dragon higher than Quelaag? Well, I think it's because of his law about literally not even eating anything and becoming a giant mouth, which I think is quite cool. Not really a good representation. Well, actually, that's actually wrong, because you actually get to see it, but I will say that the boss is pretty fair, I will say that difficulty placement is, like, meh, though. Oh, okay. I will say it is quite an easy boss as well. It is an easy boss, but, yeah. There's not really much to it once again, you have to just keep dodging his launching attacks and hitting his face, running away to dodge walking attack, and keep repeating. Now, if you don't kill the Chandler as well, the fight will actually be really tough, to be honest. So the Chandler constantly hit you. And isn't it annoying? Yes, it is very annoying. Number 10 is the Bell Gargoyles. Now, I think this boss probably would have been ranked lower if, higher I mean. Would have been ranked higher if they had a much higher health pool. I'm not trying to say that the Bell Gargoyles are easy. They're really not for new players, once again. But once again, I just feel like it's a bit too easy as well if you're going to weapon, because you can make Andre really close to the gargoyles. If you're going to weapon, you're basically going to kill him in just a couple of hits. It'll be kind of disappointing. Although I feel like the gargoyles do present a perfect challenge for new players, but I wouldn't really say it's the best challenge for veteran players, because they know what to do. You can dodge all their attacks quite easily, and it's not really a really hard boss either. But I'm trying to say, now the Bell Gargoyles are actually one of my favourite bosses as well. But once again, it's just nothing special. But I will say that if it wasn't for the bell after them, they probably would have been ranked like 12, where Quelaag would be. Now my phone actually turned off, which is great. Number 9 is Seath the Scaleless. Now, this one will most likely be controversial, because Seath the Scaleless is actually a really easy boss, to be honest. I will say that I will call it a puzzle boss, though, because sometimes there's a crystal right behind him, and if you don't destroy it, then you can't damage Seath at all. But I will say that it's kind of a puzzle, which I guess is done a little bit right for new players. Because, well, people will be like, what the hell is this crystal thing? And they won't be too bothered in breaking it. But I will say that the boss is pretty damn easy. If you just stay near its stomach, you could do like massive damage. Once again, for a lord, I wouldn't really say it's the perfect challenge either. But it is pretty fun, pretty cool lore, pretty entertaining, but not really much about him, to be honest. Number 8 is Sanctuary Guardian. So now we got our first DLC boss, ranking at number 8, which means half of them will be DLC bosses, and the other half will be not DLC bosses. Artorius is actually a really tough boss if you don't know how to dodge attacks. For new players, it'll be a very tough fight if you know how to get to the DLC first. Because getting to the DLC requires quite a lot of effort. But luckily it's not that hard to get to the DLC. But the fight overall is pretty okay. It's okay, but I quite like. It's a bit. I will say that it's kind of annoying that he keeps running away from you and flying away. But overall, if you have a very strong weapon, that will really matter too much. Yeah, it didn't really matter too much that he's flying away, because if you're weapon, he'll be dead in like 3 hits. So yeah, I will say for a DLC boss, he's pretty damn easy, to be honest. But overall, I quite like the fight. I love the fight quite a lot. Number 7 is the 4 Kings. Now, the 4 Kings are a damn great fight as well. But I think the one thing that wouldn't make me rank them any higher is the difficulty. Because first, the 4 Kings are not easy, by the way. I want to say that I feel like it's a bit too easy if you know how to dodge, and a bit too hard if you don't know how to. But I feel like that's for veterans though, and I'm a relatively new player. I've only played this game for a couple of months, but still I feel like today I could easily kill the 4 Kings. Now, also, I'm going to say a quick spoiler. I've actually been recording for like a couple hours now trying to kill the 4 Kings on my No Leveling Up challenge, and I still haven't killed them yet, so you'll be seeing probably a couple more days of no level up boss ranking video. Because the 4 Kings are probably the toughest fight I've faced in the boss No Leveling Up challenge series. So yeah, I think the thing that's a bit annoying is that every single one is pretty much the same. There's not really much to it, once again, but I feel like it is a damn tough fight, and I think it's really cool, like, if you go into a freaking abyss just to kill him. Once again, I really like the boss, but once again, pretty meh. I will say, I will say, they probably would have been a lot better, in my opinion, if they probably had attacks that would actually hit you a lot easier. Because a lot of the attacks are so easy to dodge as well. But overall, there's nothing much to say about him. Number 6 is the Great Grey Wolf Sith. Now, once again, this is probably going to be the most controversial out of them all, because Sith is not a tough fight at all if you know how to dodge properly. But that's one thing I really like. I don't really know why I love Sith the Sith fight so much. I think it's just because of the soundtrack, but overall, I think it's pretty damn fun just to keep running around chasing the damn thing. And I'm not quite sure yet, but I think if you kill Artorius before you kill Sith, you can get a different cutscene. But I've never tried it out, so I don't know. But I've heard is a thing. Overall, I quite like the fight, but I will say that it is a good representation of where it is in the game, because it is quite tough for like mid game. It is quite a tough fight for mid game, but overall, it's a pretty meh boss again. I'm just kidding. And by meh, I mean it's more like, I think its difficulty placement is spot on. I would say its lore is pretty good. Its design is, I would say the design is where it's a bit off though, because it doesn't really have it doesn't really have many attacks, to be honest. I think if you had more attacks, it'd be a much better fight, perhaps even in the top 3. But still, I can't really argue too much about the fight, because there's not really anything wrong with it, design-wise. Number 5 is Black Dragon Calamity. Now, I've actually killed this guy off camera, and damn, it was really fun as hell. In my opinion, he's probably one of the best designed dragon bosses that From Software has ever made. Because first off, he has pretty cool lore and stuff like that, but there's not really too much about him. It's just a dragon that you have to keep dodging every now and then. I will say that he is a damn fun boss as well. But I will say he is quite a tough fight for DLC as well. Good placement in the game. Very cool arena as well. Quite like the soundtrack, but once again, like, it's another boss which I feel like if you know how to dodge, this fight will be super easy. And I'm not the greatest at that, to be honest, but I don't think it's a bad boss at all. I think it'd have been a lot better though if he had a no, what I'm trying to say is that I feel like if you stayed under him, I think the fight would have been a lot better if he, you know, did an attack which kind of stopped you from getting under him. But I guess he does do a flying attack that flies away from you. But I can't really grate that too much because it's super easy to see. I think they could do adding one more attack as well because there's not really much to it. Still though, I can't really say anything that's bad about the boss at all. A pretty good boss, but not my favourite in the entire series. How do I know? Oh yeah, number 4 is Menace, Father of the Abyss. Now, I love Menace so much. I will say there's one thing that I will say that's bad about the boss is the freaking the explosion attack. I don't know what it's called. But if you get the pendant from the I think it's pendant. I can't quite remember. If you get the pendant from the Lucille township, then you can easily dodge those attacks. Still, I feel like that might be to make it a bit easier though. I don't know. He is a damn tough fighter though. It took me 18 attempts just to kill the dude. Now, I will say that is a pretty fair boss because what you can do is before the arena, you can use a hawk ring, I think it's called, the Hawkeye ring or something, which you can get from behind the giant blacksmith back in Analondo. You can use that to extend your bow range and shoot Menace from a tiny hole because you can see his eyes. You can kill him like that, which I think is quite fair. Or you can just lower him, go into the fight, make it a lot easier. But still, I think it's a pretty damn fair boss as well. I will say that he's a bit too aggressive though, but I guess it is DLC after all, so I can't complain too much about that. Number 3 is Knight Artorius. Now, if I was in an actual boss, if I was in like popular people's boss ranking, this boss will probably be ranked number 1 or 2, but it's not my favourite in my opinion. There's only one thing I can say that's bad, is the freaking jumping attack, because Artorius has a jumping attack, and I swear to God, I can never dodge it. But I will say it's easiest to dodge if you run towards him while he's charging up with jumping attack. Then if you just run towards him, then it'll be quite easy to dodge. But still, I think the hitbox is a bit broken on that, to be honest. Still, I can't really complain too much about the fight because it is a damn great fight. There's not really much to say about him, but yeah, just keep dying. Yeah, there's not really much to him as well, but he's a boss that I really enjoy, and I feel like his jumping hitbox should be a bit more reasonable. I would say it's also a really fair boss because he does another jumping attack. What's it called? A level up, and he will basically make himself even stronger, dealing you 1 or 2 hits. If you get a strong enough weapon, like the right-hander that I had, you can stop him from doing it, making that fight a lot more fair. So it's probably the most fair boss, most fair DLC boss in Dark Souls 1. Once again, I love the boss so much, and I will never forget the time I actually finally managed to kill the dude. Number 2 is Gwyn Lord of Cinder. Probably another controversial kinda one, because Gwyn is a really good endgame fight, perhaps even my favourite endgame boss. Because first off, I quite like the idea of you basically killing him to pretty much like make the first flame again, but I will say that I didn't pose a challenge for veterans as well. Because it's also a bit too hard. I would say it's a bit too hard if you don't know how to parry. And a bit too easy if you know how to. At the same time, I guess it is an endgame boss as well, so you expect it to have some different mechanics. And I applaud that because I think it's good that from the developers made a different endgame boss that you can actually parry. So I think it's a pretty fair boss, and it's quite easy to dodge some of his attacks, but half of them are really tough. I quite like his soundtrack. Quite probably that's my favourite soundtrack as well. He's not a bad boss at all. Now, I think we all know who number 1 is, so it is Dragonslayer, Ornstein, and Executioner Smo. Now, these guys are probably the fairest boss in this boss rankings of Dark Souls 1, because the arena is designed perfectly to the max for this fight, because you can use the pillars and their speed and contrast between each of them are perfect for a gank boss. But I will say it's a bit upsetting that almost every other gank boss in Dark Souls, in Soulsborne, is either straight up trapped or just way too easy. So I feel like Ornstein is the only boss I would say as a gank, but it's the fairest, most well-designed, most fun boss ever. And I will say that I could make a tiny complaint, but I will say that because they're relatively early in the game, they are really tough for new players as well. But it is a pretty damn fair boss, and I will always love to fight forever. So that is the end of the Dark Souls 1 boss ranking. Now, I'm also going to be doing another series soon, in a couple of days, of my favourite Soulsborne bosses for each month, because I'll be playing each game a couple of times and seeing which my favourite bosses will be. I'm going to upload that part in a couple of weeks, but so what I mean by that is that I'm going to be saying my top 10 favourite bosses of the month, and and some of them will be changed every now and then, maybe. I'm going to be doing the Dark Souls 2 boss ranking like final, because there's 41 freaking bosses. Oh yeah, that's including DLC as well. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I hope you have a good day. I'm not going to have a good day trying to kill the 4 kings. I'm leveling up, so yeah, that's going to be fun. Goodbye.